Welcome back, students. In the last three sessions, we have completed the biological classification. Today, let us see the important examples and points to remember in the chapter Morphology of Flowering Plants. Keep watching, kindly share and subscribe for the next chapters. And how will you define morphology? The study of external features of any organism is termed as morphology. So here in plants, what are all the different morphological parts? The roots, stem, leaves, flowers, fruits and seeds. They are the different morphological parts of a plant. And these morphological characters are considered for taxonomic and systemic botany in order to identify and classify the plants. Now let us see one by one. The first one is root. So how will you define root? The root is a part which arises from the radicle of the embryo. So the characteristic features of root are they are positively geotrophic, that means they grow towards the earth, and they are negatively phototrophic, that is they are away from the light. And there are two types of root systems, namely taproot system and fibrous root system. So this taproot, it is mainly found in dicots, whereas fibrous roots, they are mainly found in monocots. And the fibrous root is of adventitious type, that is tufts of branches arise from the base of the stem, whereas taproot, it has a main branch and the small branches arises from the side of the main root. Next we will come to the regions of root. So there are four regions in a root. The first region is the region of maturation, and the region of elongation, region of meristematic activity, and the region of root cap. So here, this is the root cap. So this root cap region, it protects the root from injury, and above that we are having the meristematic region. So meristematic means it is full of active division, cell division occurs here in order to form new cells. And above the region, this is the region of elongation, which is for to increase the length of the root. And above that we are having the region of maturation, and here only we are having the root hairs. So the root hairs develop from this region. Next one is modification of root. So the taproots are modified in order for storage of food. So the examples are carrot, turnip, beetroot and radish. So that examples are well known and you all know that. And the adventitious roots are modified for the same purpose, storage of food. So the examples are sweet potato, asparagus and tapioca. And the next one is nematophores. So what are nematophores? They are known as breathing pores. Example, Rhizopora, Avicennia and Soneraceae. So these nematophores are seen in mangrove forest, in marshy lands. And the next come the stilt roots and prop roots. So these are defined for the purpose of mechanical support of the plant. So the stilt roots, the roots can be viewed above the soil itself at the base of the stem. So this you can see well in sugarcane. And pandanus is also the another example for stilt roots. And the prop roots, many roots are hanging from the branches, so aerial roots, and they are well seen in banyan tree, so they are called as prop roots. And the next one is stem. So the stem, it arises from the plumule of an embryo, and the characteristic features of stem are they are positively phototrophic and negatively geotrophic. And these are also modified for various purposes. So the first one is underground stem modification. Underground stem modifications examples are potato, ginger, colocasia, amorphophallus, onion and garlic. So potato is considered as the underground stem, and ginger is also the underground stem because they are all having nodes and buds, etc. The potato are having eyes, so it is called as eyes, and these are not root, they are modified stems since they are having the parts of the stem, that is nodes and buds. So all these are for storing the foods. And the next one is stem tuber. So the famous term tuber, you all know that potato is the well-known example for stem tubers, and ginger and turmeric are the examples for rhizome. Rhizome means flattened structure, horizontal under the ground, and corm, it is a round swollen structure of the roots. So jamaican and yams are the corm varieties, and onion and garlics are termed as bulbs. The next modification is in some plants the axillary bud. What is meant by axillary bud? The bud which arises from the axil of the leaf is called as axillary bud, and they are modified as tendrils. The famous examples are gourds, cucurbits and passiflora. So you should know the examples mainly. And next, in case of grapevines, the terminal bud is modified as tendrils. So grapevines, terminal bud is modified as tendrils. And in plants like bougainvillea, the axillary bud is modified as thorns. So you should concentrate on the examples as well as the term. So in question they may ask that in cucurbits which part is modified as tendril, like that they will ask. And the axillary bud modified as thorns. So this is the well-known question and repeated important points to remember. And the next one is leaf. So the leaf arises from the nodal region of the stem, and a term known as pulvinous. So what is meant by pulvinous? It is a swollen portion found at the base of the petiole in leguminous plant varieties. So only in leguminous plants we can see the pulvinous. And the next one, in a simple leaf you are having a different parts, namely the leaf blade, it is otherwise called as lamina, and there is a midrib, and from the midrib veins are traveling. So according to the arrangement of veins we are having two types. So the arrangement of veins, it is known as venation. So it is reticulate venation or parallel venation. So reticulate venation, it can be seen in all common leaves. So in a hibiscus leaf you can see the reticulate network. Reticulate means network like structure, and parallel venation, the best example is banana. So banana leaf you can see the parallel veins. And next, the leaves are of two types, namely simple leaf and compound leaf. So simple leaf, for example hibiscus, so it is simple, and if it has stipules, so you can see in the hibiscus plant stipules, a small thin hair-like outgrowth at the end of the petiole. So they are known as stipules. If they have stipules, means they are called as stipulate, and if the leaf has petiole, means they are known as petiolate. If the petiole is absent, means it is said to be sessile, S-E-S-S-I-L-E, sessile. So all these are very important terms. And the leaves, they are of two types, namely simple and compound. And the compound leaves, they are again divided into two types, namely pinnately compound and palmately compound. So pinnately compound means it has a midrib as a main rachis, and you can see in the case of neem leaves, all the leaves are arranged on sidewise in a midrib. So this is pinnate pattern. And palmate, so it looks like a palm. So for example cotton, in cotton plant you can see, and in papaya, so all have palm-like structure. So it is known as palmately compound leaves. And the next one is phyllotaxy. So the phyllotaxy, it is meant by the arrangement of leaves. So it is defined as the arrangement of leaves. So there are three types of arrangement. So that is called as phyllotaxy. The first one is alternate. So alternate means the leaves are arranged in an alternate fashion. So you can see the diagram, and the examples are China rose, mustard and sunflower. And the next type is opposite. So in opposite phyllotaxy, the leaves are arranged in opposite direction. So here the leaves are sessile in nature without petioles. So example Goa and world. World means they are arranged in a world manner. Example Alstonia. And the next one is modifications of leaf. So the leaves are modified as tendrils. Example, pea plant. And in onion and garlic, the leaves are fleshy and they are modified for food storage. And the third term is petiole. So in Australian acacia plant, the petiole, so here the petiole is modified as a flattened structure for photosynthetic purpose. So it is also a modification of leaf. And the next one is pitcher plant. So the pitcher. So this structure is similar to a pitcher. Pitcher means earthen part. So it is named according to the structure. So the famous plants Nepenthes, Sundew, Venus flytrap, all these are called as insectivorous plants. And when the insect come and trapped inside this pitcher, it will get digested and it is used for nitrogen fixation. And in the next type, bladders. So a small bladder-like structure is found in the leaves. So example, Utricularia. So all these are modifications of leaf. So in the next session we will try to complete this chapter and keep on watching.